30 days ago, I decided to test something that almost nobody in the online money space is talking about. Not dropshipping, not affiliate marketing, not YouTube automation. Audiobook publishing. More specifically, publishing audiobooks through Amazon's ACX platform. Now, if you've never heard of ACX before, it's the system that allows creators and publishers to distribute audiobooks directly to Audible, Amazon, and iTunes. And the reason I wanted to test this is because audiobooks are becoming one of the fastest-growing digital products online. Millions of people listen to books while driving, working, exercising, or even relaxing at home. So I asked myself a simple question. What would happen if I focused on ACX audiobook publishing for 30 days? Would it actually make money? Would it take too long? Or is this one of those hidden opportunities most people are ignoring? So for the next 30 days, I treated this like an experiment. I documented everything. The research, the publishing process, the mistakes, and of course, the money. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what happened, including the proof. Before we jump into the experiment, quick favor. If you enjoy learning about quiet ways to make money online through digital publishing, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow and lets me know you want more videos like this. Also, I share extra tips, updates, and strategies that I don't always post on YouTube inside my Twitter and Telegram communities. So if you're serious about learning more about audiobook publishing, AI publishing tools, and other digital income strategies, check the links in the description and join the community. All right, now let's get back to the experiment. Part 1. What ACX actually is. Before we get into the results, it's important to understand what ACX actually does. A CX stands for Audiobook Creation Exchange. It's Amazon's official platform for creating and distributing audiobooks. Once you publish an audiobook through ACX, it gets distributed to 3 major platforms: Audible, Amazon, and Apple Books. These platforms have millions of active users looking for audiobooks every single day. Now here's what makes this interesting. Most people assume you need to record the audiobook yourself, which means buying expensive microphones, recording in a studio, editing audio, and doing voice acting. But that's not actually required. On ACX, there are 3 main ways to create audiobooks. The first option is narrating the audiobook yourself. The second option is hiring a professional narrator. And the third option is using modern AI narration tools. For this experiment, I focused on the third option, AI narration, because it dramatically reduces both the cost and the time required to produce audiobooks. Instead of spending weeks recording audio manually, you can generate narration in a fraction of the time, which means the real focus becomes publishing and distribution. And that's exactly what I wanted to test. Could someone build a small audiobook publishing system using tools that are available today? So I started the experiment. Part 2. The research phase. The first step was figuring out what type of audiobooks actually sell. Because publishing random books is not a strategy. Demand matters. So I started by researching Amazon's bestseller lists. I focused specifically on non-fiction categories because non-fiction tends to perform extremely well in audiobook format. Think about it. When people listen to audiobooks, they often want something educational or motivational. Topics like self-improvement, productivity, relationships, money, psychology, and personal growth. These types of books are perfect for audio because people can listen while doing other things. But I also noticed something important. Shorter audiobooks were extremely common. Many successful audiobooks were only 1 to 3 hours long. That's actually great news, because shorter audiobooks are easier to produce. Less audio, less editing, and faster publishing. So instead of trying to produce long 10-hour audiobooks, I focused on shorter content. This allowed me to move faster during the experiment. Once I had a few topic ideas, the next step was turning them into audiobooks. Part 3. Creating the audiobooks. This part of the process was actually easier than I expected. First, I prepared the manuscript. If you already have a Kindle book, this step becomes much easier because the content already exists. But if you don't, you can create short non-fiction manuscripts fairly quickly. Once the manuscript was ready, the next step was generating the audio narration. Instead of recording my own voice, I used AI narration software. These tools convert text into natural-sounding audio, and honestly, the quality has improved dramatically in recent years. What used to sound robotic now sounds surprisingly realistic. After generating the narration, I reviewed the audio to make sure everything sounded clear and natural. Then, I exported the files in the format required by ACX. Next came the upload process. Inside the ACX dashboard, you upload several things: the audiobook cover, the audio files, the book description, the category, and other metadata. Once everything is uploaded, the audiobook goes through a review process. ACX checks the audio quality, formatting, and overall compliance with their standards. After approval, the audiobook becomes available on Audible, Amazon, and Apple Books. At that point, the audiobook is live, which means anyone browsing those platforms can discover it. But the real question remained: would anyone actually buy it? Part 4. Waiting for sales. After publishing the audiobooks, the hardest part began: waiting. Because digital publishing rarely produces instant results. The first few days were completely quiet. No sales, no downloads, nothing. And honestly, that's normal. New listings usually take time to gain visibility. But then something interesting happened. A few days later, I checked the dashboard again, and I saw something different. A sale. Just one. But that one sale proved something important. Someone out there discovered the audiobook and decided it was worth buying. That's when the experiment started to feel real. Over the next couple of weeks, the numbers slowly started moving. It wasn't explosive, but it was consistent. And every new sale confirmed that the system was working. Part 5. The results after 30 days. So, after 30 days of testing ACX Audiobook publishing, what actually happened? Let me show you the results. During the first month, the audiobooks generated real sales. Now, I want to be transparent here. This was not a get-rich-quick result, but that wasn't the goal of the experiment. The goal was to answer a question. Does ACX audiobook publishing actually work? And the answer is yes. Because even with a small number of audiobooks, sales started appearing, which means the real power of this model comes from scaling. The more audiobooks you publish, the more opportunities you create for sales. Each audiobook becomes another digital asset working for you in the background. And unlike many online business models, audiobooks can continue selling for years. That's what makes publishing interesting. Once the work is done, the product can keep generating income. Part 6. What I learned. After running this 30-day experiment, a few lessons became very clear. First, audiobook publishing rewards patience. It's not an overnight system, but consistent publishing increases your chances of success. Second, topic selection matters more than anything else. If the topic has demand, the audiobook has a chance. If nobody is searching for the topic, it won't matter how good the narration is. And third, most people never try opportunities like this because they assume it's too complicated. But once you understand the process, it becomes surprisingly straightforward. Research, create, publish, repeat. So that was my 30-day experiment with ACX Audiobook publishing. And honestly, this experiment made me even more curious about the long-term potential of audiobooks as a digital income stream. If you enjoyed this video or learned something useful, make sure you like the video and subscribe to Silent Publisher so you don't miss future experiments and publishing strategies. And if you want more behind-the-scenes tips, updates, and ideas that I don't always post on YouTube, join our Twitter and Telegram communities. That's where I share extra resources, answer questions, and post updates about new publishing opportunities. You'll find the links in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.